Getting into
Oh no!
yeah, and so we quickly took the meat out, and because it was still like 170 something, so it was still fine. Um, we took it out and put it in the oven to continue cooking. But I had to take apart the whole thing and pull out the auger and like basically
Oh,
dig out all of the stuff. It was a process, to say the least.
Sounds like I walked in on a tragedy.
Well,
the meat turned out great, so it was just
Yeah.
work.
hey, your alarm worked. That's always good to know.
Yeah. Well, I had a remote. It's remote, so I had it in the house, like, and I had set its temperature thresholds and stuff. So yeah, that's
Yeah.
very good. Very happy about that. Definitely saved us a hefty piece of meat.
Right? I know we have this nice little space in the backyard, and I'm like trying to figure out what to do with it. If I go like a smoker,
Yes.
or a pizza oven.
Smoker.
Well, I know, but I'm really the only one who eats that kind of meat. So
That means that you could still be the only one who eats that kind of meat. More
Right.
for you.
or pizza oven.
This is Daddy's therapy.
Yeah,
Daddy needs the smoker.
at $20 a pound.
Mm-hmm.
Did we hear from Drew?
He's alive. He was planning on coming, I thought.
To the best of my knowledge, the same.
He's probably got some last minute stuff to do.
True enough. So D, when are you going to start making $300,000 a month on this?
When apparently I seem to demonstrate massive levels of capacity to entertain, I guess.
Well, we all need to step up our voice acting. That's what.
No shit. Well, we should have like a crew of animators and so on. Just make it go bananas.
Yeah, animators. That would be pretty swell.
Right?
I can't. This insane clown posse.
He needs to go.
It looks so familiar.
I love that they're like, yeah, of course we're vaccinated. We're not idiots. We might drink Faygo and have insane conspiracy theories, but we're not idiots.
Yeah, you really do need to reevaluate your life choices when the insane clown posse goes, vaccinate.
Juggalos are smart. They may not understand magnets, but
That song is incredible, by the way.
they're vaccinated.
Have you heard that song?
Oh yeah. I mean, I've watched the video. I haven't idly listened to the.
So what you
Silent
don't know
dude,
is that
ICP.
Scott secretly in his bathroom has his little shrine to the Juggalos, and he's got his white and his black makeup that he puts on every once
With
in a
the
while.
clown meme, where the guy's slowly putting on the clown costume, they need a Juggalo version.
Yeah.
Oh, there it
I
is.
fought the kids and the kids won. I fought the kids and the kids won.
Wow. And we had
Sounds
back to
mildly
school night,
depressing.
and the key quote
dear.
of the evening was,
Oh, the music dropped for you.
you know,
Yeah.
my child. Say, let me. If I had to quote it exactly, otherwise I'm not going to do it justice. Because I sent this to my wife. My son, he comes home and feels he is too advanced, and tells me he is bored. Lady, your kid's in first grade.
To advance for the times tables, apparently.
Andrew,
You know,
I believe our wives have something to say about bored primary school children.
I think all kids are bored. They don't
They don't
challenge
exist.
themselves.
They don't
Yeah.
exist, yeah.
Only boring people are bored.
That's right.
Yeah, that started off the back to school night,
Nice.
and it just went downhill from there with me just going, the fuck?
Welcome to end of quality education, Bill.
Bop,
Dumb,
dee-doo.
dumb as hell. Ugh. Yep.
I love that.
Your-
People
your
are dumb
child's
as hell.
Your child's gonna have a psychotic break at 20. Congratulations, kid.
I think we can sufficely say that the age of reason is long dead. Long live the age of
Feelings.
the
What did I
age of
see that was
feelings.
like, for Halloween, I'm gonna go as a formerly gifted child. When people ask, "What are you supposed to be?" I'm gonna say, "I was supposed to be anything. I could have been anything."
Dude, Westworld is so excellent.
Burned out gifted child.
Westworld is so good.
Yeah. Have you started season 2?
No, not yet. But I was so gratified that I was able to call some of the twists before they happened.
Yeah.
I watched it live, like each week, and I was like, "What is that? Bill and Ted like?"
Before
That
we say
was-
anything else, though,
That was me, straight up.
Bill and Drew. Have you seen Westworld?
I don't have time for anything anymore.
Nope.
All right, well, then I will not say anything more. But I was very happy with what I was able to put together. There's
Hey,
a
you
certain
ain't-
there's a certain scene that I was like, got it.
Okay, so this is happening. I'm getting this weird, what is it, synchronicity, where you like see something, like someone says yellow car, and then you like see yellow cars everywhere. So I'm watching Doom Patrol,
Mm-hmm.
and Michelle Gomez pops up on Doom Patrol. Fantastic actress, I love her. Well, I'm watching Doctor Who with my daughter, and Michelle Gomez pops up in Doctor Who. And then I'm watching The Flight Attendant with my wife, and Michelle Gomez pops up in that, and I'm like, how is it 3 different shows that all came out in like wildly different years? The one is current, one was a few years ago, one was like 5 years ago. Same actress popped up. Well, I'm watching James Bond, you're talking Westworld. It just finished What If? Jeffrey Wright, Jeffrey Wright, Jeffrey Wright. I'm like, what is the universe is like, you need Jeffrey Wright in your life.
The kids are bored.
Because, you know, Westworld Season 1 was like 2016 or something, 2017. What
I
If
wanna take a
just
step
came
back.
out.
Did you go see No Time to Die?
That was the one
Yes.
with magnets.
Holy shit.
Is that
it
the most
good.
recent one or something?
It just
Yeah,
came
it
out.
just came out like a week ago.
Yeah.
Now you can tell I haven't been following shit.
My work announced today that next Friday is a minimum day because they have us
Yes.
working too many hours and they don't want to
That's
pay us,
That's right.
and so they're sending me home at 12:30, and I'm like, wait, somebody's watching my kids. I have no obligations from 12:30 to 4 o'clock.
Okay, it's a 2-hour, 43-minute runtime.
Damn. That's a
Oh,
long ass
fuck.
movie.
And I don't know when the last time you saw a movie in theaters was, but they are making up for lost trailer time. So our movie, I went with Sean. We went to see it. Our showtime was at 11 o'clock. We showed up at like 10:55. The movie did not start until 11:30. A straight half hour of trailers. And I was like, man, it's 11:25. We've been sitting here for a half an hour. So
That's good to know.
our 11 o'clock movie, we didn't get out of the theater until 2:15.
Well, okay then.
Damn, son.
But it is absolutely amazing.
The guy that they have doing James Bond now is like perfect for it.
Daniel Craig. This is his last.
Yeah, I would think
Bond
so.
movie.
The guy is. I don't know how much more he can push out. Although he might pull a Keanu Reeves and just keep doing shit like that forever. God knows how long that's gonna
Nah.
happen.
He's
I
done with
loved
the
him in
character.
Layer Cake.
Well, I mean,
Larry
like,
King
I'm just
was
talking about like
bad.
the action genre because that guy can really pull it off.
Yeah, he's good. They make fun of him in it a little bit. They're like, you know, you've got bad knees and stuff like that. He's definitely not quite like his first, you know, Casino Royale when he's like doing parkour on the rooftops.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
But-
you know what's cool is I hear they created between all of his series an actual story arc.
Yes. It is a 5
I
movie.
I
arc.
thought Spectre was amazing.
It is a direct. I mean, Blofeld is in it. It's like a direct from
Consequence
Spectre.
of. Oh, nice.
I'll have to catch that.
Like
at some
Casino
point.
Royale is up there with Goldfinger.
So Vesper is, I mean, she's dead, right? But like she's her, like he visits her grave in the beginning, so it like ties it all the way back to Casino Royale.
Oh, Casino! I gotta go rewatch that movie. Just straight
Yeah.
2 hours of card playing.
Right.
And
I'm like
salt poisoning.
car chases and awesome gunfights and crazy gadgets and like let's jump out of a plane or whatever. I'm like, yes, sign me
Yeah,
up.
but
And
it's
then
got
good plot. Yes.
Dude, Casino Royale's got that great scene where he's being tortured and the dude's nailing him in the
Yeah.
nuts. He's like, "You got the scratch. Can you go a little to the left?"
Right. That was good.
Badass.
Definitely a lot of dungeons going out there. It's like, hey, that's our shit.
Right.
I just remember one of the first things I ever had. I think Bill showed us. Yep. Ah.
Yeah.
Bill
yeah.
knows.
The fucking noises.
Yeah, the noises is what gets me. Like, the action itself is pretty hilariously horrifying, but like, just the guy's like loving it. So
Yeah.
more power to
I
him,
don't even
guess.
know how. I'd be straight up vomiting.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, that actor, by the way, who's playing the villain, god damn, he gets typecast as so many bad people. I mean,
Is that Mads?
Mm-hmm.
Mads Mikkelsen? Yeah.
he's so good at it,
Damn,
though.
you look at Daniel Craig. He was in great shape.
Mads
Nail that
Mikkelsen
dude.
as Hannibal.
That would be a good movie to make.
What?
Tell the tale of Hannibal.
Not the Alps crossing Hannibal. He was Hannibal.
No, I understand that, but I'm saying the Alps crossing
Yeah.
Hannibal.
Well, I'm a little blitzed today, so if somebody could be so kind as to remind me what the hell we did last week.
The kids are bored.
Kids
Uh,
report.
Derek had just gotten approval to make his nano gun, and you said it did 8 million damage per shot, and he can do a scatter shot. So
Gee, you'd think I'd remember that.
I know it's crazy. I wrote it all down. I swear.
Even pushing that DM's rule, if it ain't written down, it doesn't exist, and they're going like, if you did write it down, I'm calling some bullshit. That's going straight up to the fucking DM's Supreme Court.
I don't know. I'm trying to remember where we left it off. We left it
Hold
off
on.
with Drew doing an epic stream of his notes of the title.
Yeah.
I do
Oh,
remember
we
that.
had done the with the sound.
Here
We had
it
learned
is
that
in the notes.
crystal-
Barrick and his gun, right there.
I love it.
Is that
No,
blood on the notes? What is that?
Actually, I don't know.
We had the crystal. You're
Threading.
muted. Bill, you muted. We had the crystal resonance and
Last
So it
week,
converted actual sound into psychic.
psychic.
Yes. Last week on Shadows, we had the chapter 42 nano ammo.
Yep.
Namo.
Saltires guarded us through the Silk Road as we worked our way past the clearing of the path of Zatzayal. We decided to share him with other people. We discovered that there's a little
With an
crystal
open relationship with the outsiders. Right.
with the outsiders, yes. And the cult, with the help of Ivar, took all the
Yes.
leftover crystal drugs and condensed them into a new form of outsider drug, the crystal green luminescent, which apparently is highly toxic. And our good host did not want that shit left on his dining room table, so he put it in a jar.
Yeah, in like a lead-lined jar.
He got a
But within
sealed
the next
container.
86 hours, we need to get back over to the Silk Road and settle our business. Because these outsiders are just the extremes of chaos. And that, ladies and gentlemen...
And then, let's see, Colt and...
And Barrick refuses to put this bullet into his nano gun. What a sissy.
Ivar and Colt were going to try to see if we could look at the crystal for resonance and create a, I don't know, protective ward.
Oh, you guys were wanted the Doctor Strange astral soul shield.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were,
And,
in a sense...
Barrick tried to use actual physics and acoustics with the engineer to see how things worked.
Yeah, we basically have it this crystal in stasis, and it's pure chaos, but it does definitely amplify what's going around its sound and makes it into psychic damage. We wanted to know if we could reverse it,
Or at least protect yourselves from it.
or protect ourselves ultimately from it. Yeah. Ivar is trying to control the power of the outsiders. It's his little dream. But we want to make... just on a quick side note, this is what ultimately led to Ivar's downfall in his backstory. I don't know if you guys recall, but he was high up in the Russian mob.
Yep.
And was doing occult shit for them, and then basically screws over the lead guy and ultimately tries to do occult shit on his daughter, and she dies. And that's how Ivar wakes up in Night City. But Ivar does have this tendency when he finds things that makes their sources of power, he likes to hoard them. But we are trying to build sonic dampeners to protect us, and that's kind of where we left things off.
Well, okay, so we've got some projects in the works, trying to protect yourselves from various psionic attacks of all sorts.
You know, the one thing I did, just to throw in my, Riv's part wasn't part of all of that shenanigans. She was just working on herself.
She was meditating.
Yeah,
She was spending quiet time.
Her
Deep
empathy.
dive.
Yeah, she got her empathy up. I mean, making
Yeah,
one of your core
empathy-
stats go up is a pretty big deal.
Correct.
So her empathy
She's
is up a
lessened.
little higher.
That's the first two stats I raised after getting absolutely railed by failed will checks, insanity checks. I'm like, oh, I gotta raise that empathy up. Oh, Diana.
Oh, man.
By the way, congratulations
Venus
to William
Venus.
Shatner for making it to space finally.
Yeah, at 90.
Screw you, Picard.
You know what? He's gonna wait till he's 91.
What the F?
Harry baby.
These
love
GIFs
Baymax.
are starting to tell a really weird
Okay.
story.
I gotta tell you, I have listened to Big Hero 6 about 200 times. I have watched it twice
Harry baby. Yeah.
because it plays on the video in the van.
What's the movie that plays in constant whenever Keely's at your place?
It kind of depends. It's actually just mostly YouTube, but if she ever, for a while there, it was the weird Bigfoot family thing, and I can't even remember what.
Oh, you're talking about the Mitchells versus the...
No, I'm talking
Harry
about.
and the Hendersons?
Nope, I'm talking about
Oh,
some
that's a
sort of
classic.
CG animated weird Bigfoot family
Oh.
because Bigfoot can heal people, and this kid never even knew his dad was Bigfoot, but apparently he
is
is.
it claymation?
No, CG.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't remember the full name. It's like Bigfoot Family something, and she would play that over and over and over and over, and I kept walking in whenever the kid broke his leg and the dad was healing it up, and oh my Jesus.
Those teeth should not be so forward.
There's something wrong with the whole fucking image, man. Like
You get Bill's laughing. You got
I
it.
mean, I can't tell if that thing was birthed out of a womb or came out of an egg. It's making me ask questions I don't want to ask.
That GIF that didn't load. Pubes, hairy panties, oops, boom. Is
What?
that from Scary Movie?
Yes.
And he gets the weed whacker?
Yep.
Yep.
Edge trimmer?
Holy crap!
So we're definitely in a good mind space tonight for gaming.
Yeah,
So
right.
we were saying that because the crystal converts sound energy into like thought energy, that maybe we could reverse the polarity and make it like block
Right.
psychic attacks,
Trying to
or
pull
at
a
least make them loud.
So
pull
can
the
we like
LaForge
cross the
principle.
streams?
Yeah.
We gotta cross the streams.
Literally watching Doctor Who, and he's like, "We should reverse the polarity," and I just lost it.
Well,
You guys basically want a sonic screwdriver with the crystal attached.
Mm-hmm.
okay, so what is going to happen next? So I believe, wow,
You killed Scott.
Oh, they're glowing! Oh my god!
Wow. Okay.
what was my channel about again? I'm starting to forget at this point.
Stop.
And that's not a sonic screwdriver, Bill. Thanks for playing. Oh, for God's sake.
Oh man.
Yep, it's telling a very strange story now in the land of GIF. All right, so
Like Mad Libs, you should just make up a story out of all the GIFs going on.
Although that last one is probably more like an outsider that we would encounter.
Yeah.
well,
Yeah,
I mean, it
it's
does
full
tie
circle.
back into Shadows at least. So the main thing that you guys are all working on is protection for sure.
Yeah, because we barely made it out of that fight.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that I
Threw my big like arcane attack at it, and it was like clink.
I think that the biggest thing that came out of that fight is that we needed to train or like get some way to have like a higher survivability against what we're about to go against. Because I seem to remember that we were told that of the two, the one we need to go fight was much more destructive.
Avril Thrall, yeah.
You've already
Yeah.
encountered him once.
He's the more.
And we ran away.
Yes.
So going back, we haven't power leveled enough to just go right back to it.
Oh, and Ken, just don't true sight next time you see him.
Yeah, right. I mean, the dice rolls.
Right? We can only be so hopeful. So, as it is, you guys, so those of you who are actually engaged in any kind of arcane research, go ahead and just make occult rolls generally, because I think that it is both Colt and Ivar that have that going on.
Colt and Ivar got it going on.
That works way better than it should.
Could certainly be.
Oh,
an option.
yellow.
Colt and Ivar in the morning.
One more.
No.
One more, literally.
You
Yeah,
win by one.
One more. You're absolutely correct with that. So
Ivar,
Well, I think you
Ivar,
get the
and,
one more just to beat him by one.
mhm.
Yeah, but how I see it happening is they're both looking at this, and the Colt comes in and does his thing, and Ivar just kind of walks over, drinking a drink, and does the exact same thing, and the Colt's like, really, and you just see him strain just a little, and Ivar's like, you win this one.
I love this thing. It's too good.
Thanks. Oh, what you just posted?
Yeah, I can't help it. It's so funny. Anyway, I had a minor tangent in my head, and I just couldn't stop myself from going there.
So 28-27, what do we got?
Well, it looks
Tell
like
me
you will
what you've
have
got.
something close to a working prototype of what you're looking for. Now, what you guys are actually talking about is advanced spellcraft, more or less. You're going to be looking for a way to finalize the spell work so that it doesn't come apart and that you have basically a set of targets whenever you're going to actually make that happen. Now, where Ivar differs in this particular sense is that he can generate... He'll be able to like generate this particular level of protection whenever somebody's within his 200-foot radius. However, it's impermanent, so if they step outside of that radius, it becomes, basically just fiction.
I can create a bubble.
What you can do is you can do the same thing where you can create basically a psychic damping field that goes around you and those around you who you want to protect within your 200-foot radius. If they step outside of that, that protection dips off. It basically can't remain. You're still subject to the primary rule where the type of magic you use is non-substantial. It can't sustain itself outside of your area of effect. It just can't.
Got it. Quick question here.
Yes.
What would Ivar's target be to establish this?
So, as long as they're within your field, it is going to end up being a 7. For Colt, it'll be 8. The difference being is that the Colt does not have those same restrictions. So, where he can create the shield, it becomes more permanent, and he can step outside of that 200-foot range and still be protected under those circumstances.
Okay.
Now, keep in
Would there
mind,
be a target for Ivar to be able to create it more sustained on a smaller level?
It's going to just basically encompass targets, because the general working of it is me plus whomever else I deem worthy will be covered by this, and you can choose. Basically you're choosing to have independent targets.
Got it. And what is the what is this ultimately going to do? It dampens any psychic damage.
It'll follow the same rules as regular armor in this case, because there is no such thing as psychic armor, but now there is, because you've gotten something that goes up there. So for every every successive success, so every hit that you have past, just you have the first and then anything else beyond that, whatever successes you get, you can apply basically 5 points of psychic protection on those targets who are inside of your field of effect.
So it's a 5-point 5-point multiplier.
Right. So in other words, if you get 3 successes, that's 15 against any kind of psychic damage. It automatically absorbs that.
Nice.
now the cult takes it from the perspective of creating an item.
Right. You're trying to imbue, enchant, make it more permanent. A charm.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, hands down, with that roll, you're gonna get it. Because you ended up getting a crit. So you'll have a singular point, and what that will do is give whoever the bearer is. Now, what did you want to make that charm out of? What exactly was it? A necklace, earring, pin, pendant?
He was just going to do rings. Basically a ring for everybody.
Okay. So, in this case, what you wind up with is that you're going to have, sophisticated materials. Now, roll a d4.
Okay. Because he was going to use, essentially, Douglas's resources.
Mm-hmm. We'll see how many you can produce, and we'll have you, do the actual ritual work.
2.
Okay. 2 rings are possible to be created once the ritual is completed, because you'll have all the necessary materials. We'll actually dive into that ritual event in a little bit, but you will wind up being successful in one way or the other. It just takes a lot of time. So you're going to spend probably close to 10 to 15 hours getting these built. And it'll be down inside the danger room, using all the laboratory resources and making that possible for these things to be. And then you're going to have to decide, obviously, who the most critical, protected targets are going to have to be. I would probably guess Ivar is probably going to want to be one of them. But
for protection from psychic damage?
Yes.
Ivar has one of the highest...
you're also perhaps the biggest glass cannon at the same time. If something screws you up psychically, then whatever the hell happens to you up here, if you start to go completely batshit crazy, everybody in that 200-foot radius is liable to get sucked into some sort of nowhere space. Or whatever the hell it is that's plaguing you.
one was potentially going to Ivar, and then who's been hit? I think it's Barrick's been hit most
Yeah.
lately, so it'd be going to Barrick and Ivar because Riv with Riv's luck.
Yeah, she's
Yeah,
been
I
able
mean,
to
I've
like.
done-
I do have that cool shield thing that I just didn't use last time. My shield bracelet.
Luckily enough, and that's the other scary part, is that if you notice, there wasn't any like bypass, like unlike the magic stuff where you guys have a certain resistance to magical effects. This didn't even summon up well, yeah, let's see if it's negated or not. Like, that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
The psychic stuff went right through.
Okay, so we'll roll for that in a little bit.
Yeah, we'll take care of that here in a moment. At least you have the working blueprint plans that you're going to be, basically conversing with Douglas, because he's the material expert and he'll know how to help forge these things together to create a proper charm, because his sense of materialism is so innately, powerful, and he's, his matter magic is like out of this world.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Need to use rose quartz and
It's actually
Couple
more about
legendary
conductive
items.
materials. Silver, specifically.
the rare drop off of a raid boss.
You guys are going to be so, like, beefed up and warded and amped out. It's going to be so ridiculous. You're going to look at these characters later on going like, wow, they've got a lot of shit.
We're gonna be the villains for future characters to.
At some point,
I
I'm
hope
gonna have
that
to go
never
to some,
happens.
That actually, if you were to play this down the line, would actually be a really cool twist of just eventually they became the villains.
Well, whoever was set up to go waste you, I would hope would kill you, because there's just no way of stopping the onslaught, specifically from Ivar, if he was ever to become villain.
Yeah, if Ivar turned evil, like, I'd imagine it'd be because he was like, I'm gonna save everybody by killing everyone, or something like that.
Yeah, he'd have some sort of crazy logic.
Ivar would learn how to do this.
The
Little gnome. I really hope they introduce in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse that he meets, what is it, Super Strange, or...
while he's holding the little universe.
Yeah. Like, so what are you doing?
I like the theory that the Strange in the new Spider-Man movie is an imposter.
I haven't seen it.
It's an interesting concept.
Oh,
I've
it's
yet to see
Strange Supreme.
Sounds like a Taco Bell item.
Yeah, exactly.
Just a little spurt
Yeah.
some sour cream on top of it.
Agree with it. Strange Supreme.
it. Jesus Christ. He's like a magical gordita with sour cream on it.
All right.
Right.
We've got cool crystal action.
Yeah. There's going to be some data that's going to be compiled and put together, and everybody else is kind of working on their projects. Now, oh Lord. Why, Bill? Why? Why are you doing this to me? I'm so desperate. Why does it have a butt? It shouldn't have a butt. I don't even know what that could possibly be.
That's a hot dog.
No, it's not.
Maybe it's tongue.
I don't...
What?
I want to call now. That's just me. I want to call now. Where the
That's
hell
Los
is 312?
LA.
312? I thought Los Angeles was 606.
Oh, that's Chicago. Sorry.
Yeah, it's
Anyway.
surrounded by the 815 area and the 219.
Yeah. So it, like I said, it's going to take you guys some time. We'll cover over when that's going to be possible. There is something of an interesting note. So it's about midday, after like almost 24 hours past the point when you guys have just gotten back and taken care of the first and initial problems on Zayal. Everybody's had a chance to kind of roam around the mansion. You've got the blueprints running. Ivar's doing what he does in his chambers. A lot of meditative work for Riv, but surprisingly, that's actually been pretty good for you since you've been managing to continuously and perpetually move that forward. The sense of the place is actually kind of like in a quiet zone. There's actually several points where there are, screens or available holographic televisions where you guys can actually catch latest news or anything else like that. And surprisingly, it seems as if there is sort of a null, or a lull rather. There's a lull in the actual activity that seems to be going on in Night City for the moment. With what Douglas has to offer, he's actually going to be emerging from out of that. Barrick, what is it that you find yourself doing again? Were you just going back doing your usual research and all that kind of thing?
Well, he was running through his own therapy program a bit,
right?
Because this is now the third time that he's had this whole thing with his wife come up, that it seems to be easy pickings for malevolent psychic creatures.
True enough.
And so
Not the first time, yeah.
He's trying to either deal with it or wall it off even harder.
Right.
But for the most part, he's maintaining his carbon, trying to figure out this crystal structure, and if there's anything that they can do. He doesn't have any real idea of how to tackle Avril. So
right, it's kind of a hard question, that's for sure.
Yeah, so that's that, and he's trying to not pick at loose threads, like where's the the lost personality of the cult that's still doing its thing, and where's this other problem that we've got, the Holy Grail, and where's that, he's trying to compartmentalize and leave those alone.
Mm-hmm.
And Ivar just walks by while you're having this conversation out loud and goes, Barrick, welcome to the Club of Crazy, and keeps on walking.
This is a little too hard hitting. I just want something else. Yeah, that'll be good. Yeah. Yep, regardless of whatever you got going on. So you've played with it a little bit. Dravis as well. He was able to kind of set some things aside. Now, of course, whenever you're dealing with any kind of therapeutic sessions in these virtual realities, they happen at such rapid speed that in several hours you've got a lot of time under your belt. You've probably spent close to maybe a week or so mentally just decompressing or allowing yourself to kind of move beyond certain points or to address certain things. And Dravis is looking a little bit better off than what he was at the first point. At one point you intersect where he's actually at the dining room. You're just looking probably to fetch some regular food because your appetite has not changed, even though you're taking the carbon. But Dravis's appetite is actually picked back up again, where he's actually stuffing his gob pretty hard. But right now he's just got this bowl of cereal. It's massive. And he's just looking at some kind of data pad, and he's just eating sort of absent-mindedly while looking at this data pad and kind of going over it. When you finally get within close enough social distance, he's just, you guys have done a lot of shit.
Yeah. Believe it or not, I was pretty much just a lawman before this.
I'm actually seeing that.
Blown the lid off.
He ends up setting it down. I was going over some of your previous logs and debriefs. This outsider, Aberthrall, he really was able to clone himself like that over and over and over again and just assault you with a full army.
Yeah. We were... I mean, I still kind of don't...
Are we sure it was clones, or it was... I thought he was turning humans into creatures.
He was just spawning them.
This is This is not in game. I'm asking like
Yeah,
what we
he was
saw.
just literally spawning more and more and more of himself as like humanoid entities that kept like rushing down that one pathway.
I guess
he had, like,
I had envisioned it
debug
that he
mode
was
on.
actually like corrupting everyone.
There wasn't anyone to corrupt. It was just him there. But he kept spawning.
Did he land on the
and creating more
building?
entities. There wasn't a building. It was a huge outstretched outcropping of like island that created a bridge across.
Sorry, I was thinking of the other time we ran away.
Spider?
The spider creature. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, we run away a lot.
Avrithal was just on the islands when we were hopping through Purgatory,
Right.
and he basically there was the exit
the
was near him.
Fo Fum.
Yeah, that was the ring trick where Ivar sent us through a ring as he was throwing the whole Purgatory down upon us.
Right.
So, yeah. And we were in Purgatory, like biblical Purgatory, which is a thing I learned about as a actual concept.
Yeah, it looks like it was way more than just concept.
Yeah,
Didn't you ever go to church, Barrick? No Sunday school for you?
absolutely.
Then you know about Purgatory and Avrithal. It's totally in there.
I missed the part about Avril Thrall.
It's in the back.
Dravis just kind of leans off to the side, realizing that Ivar has appeared from out of nowhere at the edge of the dining hall, and he's just like, how do you keep doing that?
Ivar gets around.
But he
Anyway.
has all the SCs.
Actually, I don't know if it would work.
Personal Pokemon. Gotta catch them all.
Yeah, I don't know if it would actually work in the mansion because of all the spells. But Ivar, I almost see him like doing portals now, where he reaches into the bar and grabs something, and just, you see that hand coming in, grabbing a bottle of vodka and disappearing.
Yeah, he's able to do that kind of thing. It's a matter of malignant or malicious intent, it seems. So if you're intending to destroy something, you're pretty sure that there's now new safeguards against, public indecency, given your first meeting. But beyond that,
First time I ever tried to pee through a portal into the bathroom.
I believe it was actually on the plant in the corner of the dining room.
yeah, basically, after transmogrifying some of the chairs and table.
But yeah, and that's why I'm not sure that we have what it takes to square off again.
Maybe
Which
not.
is why I was saying Dolorosa needs to provide some sort of resource if she wants us to clean this up for her.
I was actually thinking about something as similar. Only problem is we can't predict any part of the terrain that we're going to go into. From what you were saying, it basically changes, transforms, becomes something different, was apparently a solid cityscape at one moment, and then became these kind of disparate islands that were connected various land bridges, and I mean, how can we predict that we're going to be able to make any kind of headway with something like that? And we're going to need
What about all the
artillery.
angels that are pissed off in Purgatory? Do you think we could use them?
Based on these reports here, I wouldn't say that angels would be the one you'd want to go after anyway.
So
So
I think
far, our track record with the divine is not great.
so. After what James just said, I think Riv will be coming in with a bowl of cereal.
Sure.
Let's say Lucky Charms.
All right. That makes sense.
Good choice.
So she's got some Lucky Charms. She's like,
It's all marshmallows.
she walks in, takes a bite, and it's like, going biblical again, huh? And sits down.
Well, we
Yes.
are going to be heading back into purgatory.
John walks in, pours himself a drink, and just starts sipping on it and going like, or you could convince all the devils there that Avril Thrall is going to prevent them from ever gaining their salvation.
Wait, I thought that was the Angry Angels talking to Ivar.
No,
That's
no.
who I was talking about. But what about Michael? Do you think he could help us? He might know a few things.
Yeah, he might.
Wait, he's alive still?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's actually
He's
been
just a
taking
little
care
sad.
of, what was her name?
He's not in a good
Natasha.
spot last time we saw him.
Natasha Silver was very sad. He was helping her out. I think they're boinking.
What you saw there is Riv was like halfway to her mouth. She kind of just froze, just with the mental image of like an angel having coitus.
He's like, Ivar, I would actually say that if I had any inclination about their relationship, I'd almost say it was father-daughter. It's a little creepy.
That just makes it even more perverse.
Oh.
These angels. What was that movie with Keanu? Was it? No, it was no. Nicolas Cage, where he was the fallen angel.
Oh God, City of Angels, I believe.
City of Angels.
Oh yeah, with Meg Ryan
Yeah.
and the Gin Blossom soundtrack.
Mm-hmm.
I absolutely loved Dogma with the whole thing. It's just Alan Rickman popping in there, getting blasted with the frickin' fire extinguisher. Like, you greet everybody with flame retardant chemicals.
Oh, R.I.P.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was great in that movie.
Yeah, he's pretty much great in just about everything. Guy was just, like, amazing. So yeah, it's just it's just like, well, one way or another, since the gang is all here, and I'm thinking out loud regardless, we're gonna need artillery, like real artillery, something that can do serious damage at a distance and keep this guy busy. But the problem is, again, the terrain. You can't bring in some kind of massive ATV or a tank or any other kind of large vehicle without knowing what sort of terrain you're gonna... Hell, you can't even get air support unless you're going to be really sure that they can even fly in that stuff. And
Well,
Wait a
Avril-
second. What
Avril-
if we created the terrain?
well,
Say-
Avril Thrall likes a show.
Right, we were
Oh.
gonna bait him.
We were going to bait him, give him a trap, and then set a trap. Maybe the crystals, which is why we were exploring the crystal angle. But the
Right.
thing is, I like what you were saying about maybe using the angels. Fuck angels, they're assholes. It's the it's the devils you want, because the devils in purgatory are fighting
They've
go
got
to heaven.
incentive.
They're fighting
So-
to go to heven.
Do we
And
need to
if
call
Avril
Clyde?
Thrall, and if Avril Thrall is destroying purgatory, that ruins their chances of ever moving up.
Do we need to call up Clyde over at Hammer of God? See if he can outfit us with something that packs an extra punch? Or are we talking?
I think we're talking.
brew?
I think we're talking Michael maybe negotiating with the devils.
well, that definitely gives us troops. But again, I want artillery.
Yeah.
Oh,
Normally-
then you want hammer. You want Hammer of God. Yeah, have fun with that.
Well-
Doesn't Satan owe us a favor?
No,
No.
no, Ivar. No, 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 no.
I
no.
have his number. I could give him a call.
You know, the list,
Ivar?
the A-list, the number of A-list shitholes that you people know is astonishing. The fact that you could even have a pleasant conversation about the fact you could even ask.
No, no, no.
He
We're
was
not
very
asking.
nice to me.
Travis,
Well,
we're not asking.
Michael might have an in. But I think, we need something that'll punch holes in this guy.
No, I think what we need is a way to lock him down so that we can punch holes in him. Because I don't think anything we can do like one time is going to be enough to take him down.
All of
That's-
that makes perfect sense, but we need to be able to lay out volleys, bombardment, anything that can keep him busy. Because who
That's
knows
what I
that
meant,
locking
yeah.
him down might actually be enough to stop him from cloning.
Wait a second. You see all of a sudden Ivar reaches up his hands and he's going to start trying to wave around in an occult like sort of image of almost like an amplified miniature version of his reality shift to see if he could create the bubble where he amplifies things, but to amplify and multiply the shot. So if Barrick were to shoot a bullet in, it would not only expand, but it would multiply.
Testify.
Yeah. 23. Ivar's just kind of like, you see Ivar's got this like fake image of Barrick on the table now, and it's Ivar looking way better than he does in real life. Trying to do the spell on a very tiny scale, like almost like miniatures on the dining room table. And then you hear him going, pew,
Meta.
pew, 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 pew.
So, Ivar died, which is great because he can magnify artillery, which is what you have an eye at. I think you're onto something, Travis. So, one,
Where
we
is
need
it?
we need the numbers to throw against him.
Wait,
Two,
I
we
just-
need the ammunition.
I just had an idea. Didn't Shiny Eyes talk about the fact that he was like what, holding it hostage, holding it down in some kind of illusory terrain, something like that?
Yep. And Bob did say he was going to help us.
That's how we can control the terrain. That's how we can actually bring in the artillery we need and know exactly what to expect. Hopefully, it's not going to be this weird tunnel esophagus, whatever that lands at whatever that crystal chamber was.
So Bob's the trap to control the terrain. Michael's the tie to co-op the devils, and Ivar is the enhancement to the artillery. Do you think that
But
covers
is-
all three?
Void even gonna help us? I thought it was trying to stay out of sight.
He said that he wanted to take care of it because he wanted to live beyond them somewhere else, that he didn't want to become imprisoned again. So I think we've got ourselves a proper turncoat, for lack of better terminology.
Asset.
An asset. Yeah.
Human asset. Or, I guess
Human?
not human. Sorry,
Either way.
training.
We have an asset on the other side who can help create something that can stabilize the environment for us to be able to use. If he can broaden it out largely enough, who's to say that we can't use every single thing we've got to bring this guy down? Because I trust our skills, but knowing just how jacked up I got from the last round, who knows how much more crazy we could be made if he allows to get into all of our heads all at once.
Avril Throw didn't go that route, but not to say it's not in its arsenal.
I'd rather respect the possibility than ignore it.
Yeah. We were trying to fight him while we were also trying to run away. So that was tactical retreat is very generous.
Of course. Near towards the center of the table here, there's a holographic image that actually pops up with a, masculine type wireframe figure where Firestorm just kind of is like, if I may interject. Sorry, couldn't help but listen in.
Please.
Go on.
I don't believe that Hammer of God Munitions is going to have all the artillery that you're going to need. I do suspect that if you're looking for vehicles and that kind of thing, we're not going to be able to find it within the Hammer of God. We're going to have to go through slightly different means. I actually have a few suggestions.
Go on.
Well, I need to reload anyway, so I can order in or I can go out and get it. But if we're picking up a vehicle or something,
Well,
yeah, let's go shopping.
you're also planning on doing something that's going to be akin to pulling over some, what would be, let's see here, fallen demons, since, well, fallen or perhaps rising. It's really kind of a hard adjective to really pinpoint, but if we're going to be really sincere, we've got some demonic forces that are looking for some sort of redemption, which means that it puts them in our ballpark for sure. This is something that would actually be quite helpful, given the fact that they'd be protecting a very large number of people. Who knows, maybe we can actually find someone who can actually rally them together to create the troops we need. Then you put aside the fact that you actually could possibly get some artillery from these sources, throw that together, and you have yourself a small army. Which I would wager is probably going to be necessary, concerning the fact that Averthrow doesn't seem to have a problem with numbers. That seems to be pretty much everybody else's issue. God damn, man, it's just lighting up over there.
Does Firestorm react at all to what Riv is doing to him?
What is Riv doing to him anyway?
I typed it out.
Oh, I missed it basically because I was too busy talking.
She activated her rune, right before he started talking, and imagine, if you will, here, I'll use the camera, she goes intangible, and you just see this, and it's just
right.
and
Also,
Through the table.
Yeah,
Right.
she's intangible. She can float.
So he's wrapping that sentence up, and he's like, you might have yourself an army, and hello.
I
Uh-huh. Anyway, lost train of thought.
Yeah,
Kinda like-
I like this idea.
So
It's in everybody's interest to defeat this creature.
it is. Their realms are in danger, even those who might be entirely selfish.
Bingo.
They are going to have a vested interest in their own survival just as much as we will. And obviously, whenever the gloves come off after the fact, given possible success, hard to say where it's going to end up after that, but I'm certain that treaties could be made, although I wouldn't necessarily go around trying to convince any kind of fallen angel of which is living in purgatory of any particular binding contract. I would suspect that chances that they were going to renege on that would be high.
Could we get the fairies involved?
I mean, we
No.
possibly could, but the
You know,
channels
Puck
of which to
might
do
be
that
able
are
to help us
complex.
in this too.
Is Puck like those
No.
like Beetlejuice where we say his name 3 times and show up?
You know, I have Puck's card too. I think we could get them here. I'm sure he
knock,
would
knock,
like
knock.
this.
And Firestorm just does this. He's like, I'm an actual intelligence, and I have no idea how the fairies work.
Colt, as someone of the demonic persuasion, who rules over purgatory in an ideal situation? If my childish understanding of this is Satan rules over hell,
He don't
God
know shit.
rules in heaven, who's over purgatory?
You just you see the Colt's face go blank and
You-
then turns into the bastard.
Gotta
It's
be
like, I got
goddamn
nothing.
kidding me.
Well, I mean,
Do you know
Death.
who actually rules over purgatory?
death rules over purgatory.
Virgil.
No. No. Ivar just sits there and he's shaking his head at all this and he goes, "Don't you read your Bible?" Dear God, what is the matter with you people? Eve is the ruler of purgatory. Because she's torn between two places, the naughty things she did and the good.
Naughty, don't say that word.
You got to go find the first woman if you want to get any action in her house. And
Lilith.
do not bring up apples.
I'd love to disagree with you.
Wait, is
So-
that Mother? Like the
No.
Riv's just like in the table, she's like reaches up, is like, is that Mother?
No, and please don't bring that up again. Just no. In this case, it's actually death. And who do we know that is death? Or the avatar of death?
Is that other dude?
That right, Rick.
Ding, ding,
Dick,
ding.
Dick.
Oh, Dick.
You're-
Yeah.
Dick. We gotta talk to Dick.
We need
Alright.
some dick.
Theoretically, a friendly, or at least a neutral.
Neutral Dick.
He is a neutral Dick, and we need to go talk to that Dick. And please, for the love of God, just call him Richard Tynes. Don't
It's
want
just
to
a
do it.
thought that if everybody's got a vested interest in, if Avril Thrall is a disruption to the natural order, and the natural order is the ideal situation, whether or not we agree with it, then could possibly we get some assistance on that front.
Well, there we go. We talk to Richard Tynes, see if he can convince the demons. We talk to Bob, see if he can control the battlefield. And then all we need to think about now is the guns.
Perhaps
Which
we
is
need to
kind
get
of where
back
I
to the
come in.
crossroads.
All right, Firestorm, what do you got for us?
Well, I've nailed down certain possibilities, some of which don't seem to be quite viable, but they're definitely plan B, C, and so forth. Probably the most sufficient answer I can give you is Dmitry Kolov. He is a mobster that lives in a part of the central element of Night City and seems to have gotten himself quite an empire. Not only that, he is also invested in a great number of different weapons and has a tendency to have a very bad reputation with high dynamite in particular. It seems that he likes to shake his fist or at least rattle hornets' nests and is particularly good at it. He still manages to stay alive, and there's some very peculiar, reports about him that I can't quite fully make out.
D, real fast. Ivar is just going to do an awareness roll. Does Ivar have any relations or any knowledge of this Dimitri?
Yes, he does. Dmitry Koloff is at the time that you knew him, was actually closer to the level of an underboss, but had his own criminal enterprise that he was running on a rather sort of expansive basis. Had a lot of turf wars with Adrian Giuliani, who was his Italian counterparts, and they were vying over various hotels, like hotel locations, and were in a frenemies battle over seeing who could actually win the more or greater territory level. And that was some years ago.
On a deeper thing, does Dimitri know who Ivar is?
Probably not. He'll be aware that there was some shit that went down with a mutual boss from the Russian mafia, but he's not necessarily going to have direct investment in who Ivar is, because you know of him, and he's more infamous in that circle. You yourself was more infamous within the family in which you actually had some problems. And as you understand it, most families are not willing to give out their dirty laundry to their enemies, even if it's something as simple as, daughter of this, got whatever. They're going to hire contractors and shit like that to take care of it. But the actual defamation is going to be kept to themselves. So whatever your reputation is probably more isolated within that family and their cohorts.
But Ivar at least is aware of this guy and knows this guy not the fuck.
Yeah, he knows this guy, and Dimitri is one scary fucker. He actively plays with the police. Actively.
So as that name comes up, all you hear from Ivar is, that guy's one scary motherfucker. Even Ivar doesn't like messing with him.
Well, and what's even funnier than that, Barrick, you'll actually have recalled several points that was, FBI-wise, because of his criminality and his success, he had several sheets that you were going to be familiar with.
That was going to be my next. Was like, okay, but pure meta game. I'm like, that name sounds familiar. Have we mentioned him before?
What, Dimitri? Like out of character?
Yeah.
Oh, he's come up once or twice out of character.
Okay,
yeah.
Maybe in our world building or something you've mentioned him.
Yep.
If he's a known Night City character.
He likes to name drop randomly.
Well, I'm like, that name sounds familiar, but yeah, that's what I'm thinking is Barrick with his, law enforcement background. If this person has any notoriety, he might just have, some cursory knowledge of him.
Yeah, he's got notoriety, all right, especially amongst lawmen, because he is somehow or another able to cover his tracks, even from the FBI, and in a rather frustratingly successful manner. And not only that, he does play with the police in his local area often. He actually makes it a point not to have them assassinated, but there was one cop in particular who he messed with in such a way that he's now nearly a full conversion Borg because of the number of encounters he's had with Dimitri's men and how often he's survived those particular attacks. And now it's just kind of a game. So Dimitri is crazy in a way that's unpredictable, but it also seems to be that he holds down his side of the fort extremely well, which means that if he has anything and if he's taunting High Dynamite, Firestorm is correct. There's a good chance he'll have the arms and armament you're looking for if he's pestering corporations.
Perhaps we can go pay him a visit. Would Ivar know roughly where to find this guy as well? Like in his 26 awareness, is he like, I got this guy's number. I know how I got connections that can get us there. Or is this something that's even outside his league?
No, you would actually know some ways of getting a hold of him. There's always a channel, an avenue, something like that.
Is he a normie?
Who? Dimitri?
Yeah. Or is he...
You don't know.
Is he aware? Is he woke to the supernatural?
You'd have to find out when you met him. There is something weird about the guy, for sure. Mostly, in your assumption, it seems to be cybernetics, but you don't really know.
There. They'll be able to interface.
Awful.
I want a secure socket layer first.
I gotta get behind 7 proxies.
I just want to wipe my screen off. Just.
Yeah. So, kind of, Ken and I are chatting. Like, there might be a an angle here where if he wants a slice of the Night City pie and he's not aware, if he's happy with his crumbs, and we can say, hey, by the way, there's this whole supernatural world
You can have
that
fun with.
you could, take a bite out of. Maybe there's a way to entice him. Help us out, and you can gain access to, people like.
I
vampires.
don't know if we have the ability to give other gangsters access to what we
They don't know
have, and it might
Yeah,
yes,
he
but
doesn't
it
know
might
that.
but that might piss off some of the people that we are friends with. I don't think I would advise it.
Even if Ivar can demonstrate a little bit of the wibbly wobbly supernatural, just to say you could have some of this, that might be if you're a really, really successful gangster, and then someone offers you a technology that is akin to magic, and then tells you it's actual magic, like that could, turn the tables in your direction.
Tactics roll of a 19. Ivar's wondering what, using his knowledge of Dimitri, what we could offer him to entice this man.
I have to meet
And
him. Sounds like he's a man of rare taste.
Yeah.
But if he's the kind of guy that we could offer him some magic, illusion, we don't want him to become our enemy.
Well, what you know is that he is definitely and persistently looking for power, money, influence, pretty much what you would expect from anything. His bottom line seems to be pretty up there in terms of his requirements, like his quality of life and how he endures it. However, there is one thing that is famous about him: his love of vodka rivals Ivar's.
Oh.
And
Well then.
the better the vodka,
What?
the more
is that
enticed.
said out loud? Like, is that information that's shared with the team, or just
Ivar is sitting there kind of talking like everything that Dee just said. That's Ivar. Just think Ivar's been saying it in almost this like calm fashion.
Is Douglas in the room with us?
No. Nope, he's the only one that's not here.
Do we know where Douglas is?
POV.
He's probably going to be inside the war room or in his study, most likely.
So Riv is gonna, like, after he says that, Riv's actually gonna just just drift upwards, wherever is his room.
Just drop through the floor.
Yeah, if the war room is below me, I'm
love
gonna
it.
drop through the floor.
Yeah, you attempt to go through several areas, but find yourself barred completely. Even though you're intangible, there are areas that you cannot surpass.
I should overload it. Just, you know what? She's gonna try.
You've now
Yeah.
melted the walls.
No, I didn't get it.
No! Yeah, she's going to try and bounce in there.
No, I will not. I will not summon my iron golem in the house.
Pass through stone.
That's it.
You end your turn while you're in a stone wall. You become part of the stone wall.
That's funny.
Well, I used a ruin, but I didn't. I activated psychokinesis, but I'm not going to use any of the power.
Hey, Douglas. Merrick's just like watching this happen, and he's just gonna go to comms.
Right.
Hey, Douglas.
I was like, go ahead.
Wait,
It's
where
not-
where is he?
It's not for Ivar, but we have a need of some extremely top shelf
shelf.
vodka.
Rare.
Not only
Ivar.
top shelf, it's got to be rare.
Yet rare,
You need the
like
top shelf vodka. Do you know
rolled
how
on
that...
the thigh of a Cuban woman. I don't know how vodka works.
Well,
special
definitely
potatoes.
not that. It's a certain series of potatoes, and it's like, ah! What are you doing in here?
Oh, I must have found him.
Yep.
Where is he?
He's in his study.
Riv's
Okay.
looking for you, by the way.
Yes, I can
Hey, we
see
need
that.
vodka. She's obviously not.
He
calm,
points
so-
to his ear. He's just like,
It's,
I've registered that on comms.
it's
Okay, so imagine, if you will, like the most dejected-looking Riv, and she's like, "Oh," and she just drifts down to the floor.
I swear to God, I'm going to have fits the next time I go to take a shower. There's no privacy in
Good
this
thing her
house
clothes
anymore.
come with her.
probably ward the shower. Anyway, this is vodka as a negotiating tool.
Right. And you're going to be negotiating with whom for what?
Dmitry
Uh,
Kolov.
Dmitry Kolov.
Is that real? Oh Jesus.
Or
Of course, it's real.
My God. All right. He says like, wait, Dimitri, why would you want to talk to him?
we need to be able to take out Avril Thrall, and Firestorm says this is the man who might have the tools to do so.
Ah, fuck. I'll be right there. Stand by. And like the comms go dead for a minute. When he's looking around, when he comes into the dining room, he's got you all collected there. It's sort of like, you're getting so efficient. You're calling your own meetings now. And it's like, Firestorm, bring me up to speed on what the hell is being discussed. He goes through the entire shebang, and he just kind of listens to it. It's like, I cannot argue. I do not like making bedfellows with this man. He's dangerous. Extremely dangerous. So, whatever it is that you attempt to offer, make sure that it is proper. We are going to need some ordnance. I believe that is a correct move. And the next question is going to be how to get a hold of Bob's Shiny Eyes Void, whatever the hell you've named him. How are you going to find him?
Isn't he just in the ways?
How should I know?
I want to roll something. Is there a way, because he's touched my mind twice now, is there a way I could reach out? Like, would I have any kind of feeling of...
You can make a will check and see if you can reach out to him.
Well, I guess, okay. So I'm metagaming, because I'm thinking about it, but is there a role I should make so Riv to actually think of that as an option and then try the will check?
Why wouldn't she think of that? I think that's well within your character's capacity to kind of go like, wait, he's been messing with me for a while. Why don't I try this? To me, that makes perfect logical sense. I don't see a gap there.
Okay. I want to make sure. I don't ever want to feel like I'm breaking the rules.
Oh, don't worry. I'll slap your wrist if you ever get that close. But in this case, you're not anywhere near that.
All right. Where is my sheet? There it is. My will is 8. Wait, what? Is it? That can't be right. Why my will went up? It did a thing.
Okay.
Like
Empathy.
Well, no, but my intelligence is 7. My empathy is 8. Those two together should not. It rounded up.
It rounds up.
It does round up. That is
by
design.
When I put it in there previously, it stayed at 7. So I saved the document. When I reopened it, it's at 8. So that's cool. All right. So just a standard roll of will check, or
you're just going to be rolling your dice and will and seeing if you can't reach out. We'll see if you get it with the number of successes.
Is there a target?
Yes, it's going to be a 9. You don't know exactly what you're reaching out for, but you're going to just give it a shot.
We're just
you're basically
my wills out there.
You're basically just turning into like a ham radio, trying to reach out to him and see if he's picking up on any channels.
Target 9, fail 1, explode 10. Oh.
Wow, 1 success and an exploder too.
You know what? I'm going to use luck and bump those other 2 to successes. So equal.
All right, that's
8.
3.
3 successes.
Yeah. Well, in this case, you kind of give it a minute. You're sitting there concentrating, kind of like seeing if you can actually reach out with the tendrils of your own mind, see if you can get his attention. It feels like something is actually happening. Like you're kind of reaching, and you can kind of feel like you would like the sensation of extending your arm, but it's in a purely psychic environment. You're just kind of reaching out, seeing if you can flick on the light switch and get his attention. While you're doing that, Dimitri's just kind of like working through some of the baseline statistics about what is going to be happening. God damn, these fucking GIFs, man. But yeah, it's a moment. Then you feel like almost like a spider web and having that single strand get strung, and you're aware that Shiny Ice is basically responding back to your request, and it's a little unnerving because you're basically reaching out to him in that particular sense. And maybe a minute or 2 later, there's a knock at the front door. Educated guess line.
What was that sound?
Who are you reaching out to, Riv?
Void, Bob, Shiny Eyes.
Right.
She refers to him as Void.
You actually kind of like have Dimitri, or not Dimitri, but you have Douglas just kind of cocking an eyebrow. It's like, who the fuck is that?
Right.
Do you have
and Riv is like floating halfway on the table, and she's like, well, shit. That
You
actually
have
worked.
Alfred appear. She's like, "Sir, someone has managed to appear on your porch." And he's like, "I guessed. Given the fact that he did not ring." Yeah,
Psychic Friends Hotline.
yeah. But he's just sort of like, "Who is it? Unknown. No sin." He's like, "I should have guessed. Appearance? Can you get me a porthole, please?" Like, and she just creates an image of the front camera, with the holographics, and she allows everybody to see who's out there. And sure enough, it is in fact Shiny Eyes just standing out there on the porch. And he's like, what's he doing here? Isn't he the one you called? What is it? Bob? Shiny Eyes? Void? Whatever.
Oh,
his name is?
I called Void here.
What? How did you manage to do such a thing? He looks around his
fucked with
mansion.
my brain twice, so I figured he might have a connection with me, and apparently he still does.
Alfred, I'm going to need a checklist of all the various parameters I've set aside for the protections of this house, and I'm going to have them upgraded.
You've got a collect call from Riviera. Please accept the charges.
That's why it took a few minutes. It's like,
Yeah.
what the fuck is this?
Well, he's just like, I suppose we should go let him in. He's already here. So
Should we?
And at this point, the Colt's already poured himself another drink, and then he pours another glass, and then he just kind of hands the glass to Douglas and goes, well, it's going to get weirder.
But okay, but are there weird rules? Should we let him in?
He's like, he just takes the thing, sucks down the shot, and he says, "Thank you." And I have no idea, but he's already standing on my porch, and if he's not dead already, we might as well. And
It'd
she
be
just-
rude not to talk with him.
Right, but can't we just go out there? I don't know if this breaches wards or anything.
We'll find out. Like, he goes to the front door, and he finally opens it up, probably with everybody following him, I'd imagine.
Yeah, we're like children at this point.
Yeah. He opens it up, and you can see it, Shiny just holds his hands. It's like, I intend no harm on anyone here. And he's like, creepy, but I accept the greeting, I suppose. Who called you? And he's like, that one, pointing at Riv.
He comes around the corner and is like, "Hey, Void."
He's like, hello.
She's like buddy with him. 'Cause,
Hey, voice in my head, who's a real person?
yeah, really. Can you imagine what someone who actually had the voice in their head and they actually became real and everyone acknowledges it is vindicated.
Right.
Meanwhile, Colt is like,
Right here.
Colt's just going,
just one, huh? Not bad.
He's like, I understand that you have something of a plan. At least I sense that she has a plan, so I'm assuming you all have a plan. You're intending to capture my brother, Averthrall. Are you not?
Yeah, he's causing a ruckus.
That was plan. How are you doing, Bob?
I'm quite alright. Thank you for asking, Ivar.
Oh, happy to hear. Ivar is doing well this morning.
I'm glad to hear that. He leans into Douglas as if
7
Douglas
o'clock at
has, as if Douglas has some kind of I don't know, social barometer that he can bounce off of. And he's just sort of like, is that the correct way to address someone? And he's like, yes. What, are you a child? And he's like, no. I don't think we actually have children, or ever did, or ever could. I read
Hulk
something.
goes, yes.
He's like, I read something recently. Why is a raven like a writing desk? He's like, oh, for God's sake. Listen. I'm appreciative that you have a fanciful curiosity towards things like Alice in Wonderland, but we have other issues to address. Would you please come in? He's like, do I have permission to enter? It seems your door doesn't want me inside. He's just kind of looking at him like, really? Taps the door, and he's like, ah, thank you. And he steps inside.
So, Firestorm, if you would be so kind as to help augment the way that we are relating our plan.
Firestorm appears using the holoprojectors that are in the nearby room, of course, so he's in the hallway, the foyer, as you guys are coming through. And Shiny Eye seems to be utterly mesmerized by Firestorm, his form, the light, all of that. And he's just like, it's quite beautiful. And the Firestorm says, did you catch anything that I was saying? Like, you understood all that, right? He's like, yes, I understood. It seems to be a good plan. And I understand
Do you think
why
you
you
can
would need
play
my
that
help.
part?
Yes, I could. But he's far more dangerous than Zatzayal. He seems to enjoy multiplicity, and that is going to be difficult to contain. If perhaps I might have more simplistic control over that terrain, as you refer to it, I might be able to manage it, although I might not be able to contain him too terribly easily. But if I can manage to make the battleground, as you call it, more in control, you can use the weapons that you intend to, try and drive him away with.
Or could we, in a sense, change the background but still keep the ground itself stable? Would that meet his needs for multiplicity?
He's capable of generating, I think, as many as he needs at any time, over which is why he's managed to do so much damage to the realm of Purgatory. I do believe that he has been in conflict with those you might refer to as the demonic or demons, something of that nature. They seem to be fighting him rather harshly, although the difference is that without him being centrally present, all of their sacrifices are for nothing. He does not carry a central self in the typical sense. That will probably be the hardest part of all of this. Managing to find a way to lure his true center to this battle. It will have to be of particular interest.
Douglas,
Yes?
Puck and Anubis said that the Grail could help, well, us become one. Could the Grail be used as a weapon against the multiplicity of Avathrol?
He actually kind of like holds his head like this. He's like, that's quite a valid question, but I don't actually know. The problem is we're dealing with an agent of sentient chaos, not something that plays by the normal rules. You could feed him the Holy Grail and it could become such a great agent that we couldn't defeat it any further. Or it might just puff into dust and become nothing. I have no idea.
He's not in the hierarchy of, he's kind of out here.
He's at the extreme pole of what we would consider the normal universe, way beyond the central planes. Something like that is unpredictable at best. You actually kind of, Shiny Eyes is just kind of waiting for everybody to pull it together. Draves is like, okay, wait. All we need is enough territory, enough ground to deploy and keep firing with whatever we manage to get. Staying mobile and keeping him surrounded. You said that he needs to be entertained. He just nods. Do you think that threats, a specific kind of threat, could be entertaining enough? Meaning, is there some way that we could lure him in with a real challenge? Make it seem
worthy
as if
of his attention.
Both of those at the same time.
Didn't we have Ivar, think up something that would pull his attention?
In a 200-yard radius.
Yeah.
Shiny Eyes just kind of thinks for a moment. I might be able to tempt him, depending on what I can remember. It's difficult. Past the point of imprisonment, things are not correct for me most of the time. too standardized, too orderly, too rigid. Finding my way back to what is there is complicated. It becomes difficult. But I will see if I can actually find some way to tempt him. Challenge is accurate. Challenge would bring him. His true center, in fact. I believe you call it gambling. I think that is what causes him intrigue. Gambling. We would have to tempt him with something that would make us dangerous enough. I think I know how I might be able to do that.
What are your thoughts?
I do believe that if I give him a pronounced, well, a targeted heads up as to the location and where you might all be, thinking that he might have an advantage. If you were able to muster a large enough force to make his victory worthwhile, he will show up. Meaning that you would have to have a sizable you would have to have a sizable force. And what he would not expect that would go alongside your ambush would be that I would suddenly reverse roles, giving him what he would believe to be an advantage as a disadvantage. It would remove him from being in the correct point, and I could prevent him from running away. But you would not be able to run away either.
At this point, just kind of looks up, and you see him just drop his glass of vodka. And he looks over and he's like, we don't only need the demons in purgatory to show up. We need the angels from heaven and the demons from hell to show up and give him a real heavenly party. That would get that guy's attention.
And then Riv's like, well, I mean, I don't read up on my Bible, but how do you propose we get the demons from hell and the angels from heaven together without fighting?
We need to go to the crossroads.
And what was Drew or Colt saying?
Yeah, but angels are complete dicks.
You keep saying that.
No, that's very true. They are.
That's
what just make this a lot of fun.
I have one other idea. You've already captured Zat Sayal. While it is a risk, you could use him as bait. Avrathral would luxuriate in the ability to free his brother and continue the rampage. While they don't necessarily have something that you might call love for one another, they do share a common appetite. Enough that the temptation would be sufficient.
Do we know, does Abrafal speak English? Can we just go talk to him?
Yeah, he spoke to you guys in your head. He knows how to speak English.
Okay, we could just let him know.
In 2 days.
This is like that time you blew up the street in less than a day. We got this.
I will begin preparations. I will meet with you again in several hours, if it is with the permission of your host. Douglas is like, thank you. Just knock on the door again. He's like, I will.
And Douglas, we need to speak with Richard Tynes.
I will set up a meeting. He's one of the henchmen for Vasile, so it shall be done fairly quickly. Well then, to which I'll roll. I have calls to make.
So literally heaven and earth in order to get access to the Silk Road?
Who are you asking?
Just kind of musing out loud. Like, are we just for hire at this point? I mean...
Nope. You got Dravis behind you, so like, welcome to being in a military force. We're basically defense contractors of the highest order. We're literally going to have an actual real fight, a battle, a real one. It's just going to be some shit.
That
my-
we're literally not paid for enough for this, by the way.
Well, my
Nobody
concern
ever
is
is.
if we keep inviting in all of these other groups, at what point are we not going to be necessary anymore? I mean, I don't want to try and solve a problem by inviting, civil war between extraterrestrials and outsiders, and
It was
Whatever
already a war, Barrick.
Yes.
The
from what I-
lines are just finally getting drawn.
And if you ask me, I'd rather take this route than suffer other issues altogether. And at least
Yeah.
all we have to do is buy some big fucking guns from somebody we don't like. We don't have to bring him along. We just need the stuff he has.
I can appreciate that. I guess I just want to make sure we don't lose sight of our goal as we run from
Do you
extreme
think-
situation to extreme situation.
I'm wondering if we could find out, does Dimitri have access to the crossroads? Perhaps we could get him a pass in there.
I mean, we don't even know if he's in touch with the supernatural world at all. He could be the absolute best vanilla arms dealer there is. And one little goblin with some click-clacks could, wipe him out. So,
I'm wondering
just-
also if Odin himself would give us a hand. They always like a fight.
Yeah, you haven't really brought up or talked to Mr. Gray in a while. It's possible that given the success of your last prototype, he might be interested in this little effort. It would make sense.
Who's
Well-
gonna make the call then?
It's like, you have Dravis is like, obviously, send a memo up to Dougie over there, because he's the one who's apparently getting all the logistics put together, which is fine by me. I'm gonna go eat my soggy ass cereal.
trick is to use
I'll
a
have-
non-nutritive cereal varnish. It keeps the cereal from ever getting soggy.
Just like, it's like as he's walking in, just gives you that sign of acknowledgement.
All right, Void, I think we'll be in touch, or
I will
Griff
be
will
in
be in
contact
touch,
with
or-
you all again once I've had a chance to confirm a few things. But I will be
Yeah.
here, and I will knock on the door. And he goes walking out, but as he does, there's this kind of this strange sort of almost heat wave-like effect where he becomes sort of a vapor and vanishes.
yeah. I'm throwing out. I'm not against the plan. I just want to make sure we don't lose sight of it and get caught up in all the crazy.
I mean, it seems perfectly sane to me.
Well, but we keep leaping, hoping to just make sure we land.
And this is the first time in which we actually can control something.
We're not just
Right.
jumping into a clusterfuck, yeah.
I mean, 3 months ago we were, setting up a heist downtown for an AI.
It's just
And
3
now
months.
Fucking.
He's probably
it,
not
like,
even
flipped, and he's
entirely
like-
sure.
Language.
Yeah. It's. Yeah.
Well, I think we're out of character right now. I think our group is very much taking advantage of our connections.
Yes.
Yeah, we've had a lot of them.
Yeah, because I'm now upping the list of people we have connections with, including Bob the Void.
Like Bob the Builder's older brother, Bob the Void.
I can fix it.
Well,
So Barrick
So,
is
I mean-
used to operating within a chain of command, right? This has
Right.
been his life for the last 40 years. He has a mission, he has protocols, he has SOPs, and so this is like we're like making this shit up as we go. And so he's like, are we going out of scope? Are we out of budget?
Ivar's kind of thinking, do you think Natasha Silver would be up for another fight,
Oh,
or do you think she's still...
I think we let her ride this one out. Last time we pulled her in, it cost her a lot.
What about Sergeant Combs? We haven't talked to him in a while.
He's part of
We're
U.S.
just going through our
military.
Rolodex. Who else
We're
can we
not
call?
pulling the U.S. military into this.
Why not? They say they go everywhere.
You've got Firestorm just kind of hanging out in like sidewall. He's like, I think that maybe everybody should be thinking about how they're going to get a hold of Dimitri, because with this present timeline, who knows how long it's going to take for him to put together whatever ordinance you're going to call for.
You really don't want the U.S. military to have access to Silk Road.
I would also second that particular denomination, even though it's in the hands of criminals, and getting something like that into the hands of the government, even if it was a subsidiary kind of thing, probably not the best idea.
And I'm thinking
Alright.
we can't at all let Dimitri find out about its existence.
So, Douglas.
I don't think Miss Dolorosa would be very kind to us if we go peeping her little secret.
This is why I'm worried about involving as many people as we are, because the battleground is... We need to get through that to get there. We're not having this in some dead zone in the city.
Then we don't
Well,
explain how we get there. We just say, walk through that tunnel. Don't
Right.
explain it. Just do it.
We're all gonna have to go through that magic door and single
I mean, I
file.
could just drop us in Dimitri's living room, but we better bring a gift and a good explanation, as he might get a little pissed.
Well, 1, let's find the vodka. 2, Douglas, would you mind making arrangements?
He's gone. Douglas is gone. He's like,
Yeah, he was out, so you guys are like letting these things hit over on like text. He's like listing
He's just
shit
putting it
to
in his
do.
notes.
It's just kind of like piling up.
in the
Actually,
group chat.
I honestly, I actually see the Colt going on comms going, Dougie, can you please make
Group
us a
chat.
reservations?
Oh
I
my
like.
God.
I would love it if we had like a in-game like Discord and like Riv is like flooding it with memes while we're like
Well, she would too.
mood.
Yeah.
Me IRL. I'm standing right next to you. You're not laughing out loud. I don't understand. what you're supposed to be. When I
You were
say
not laughing out.
HEHE, I mean
I just recently watched that too.
it's not he. So we're again calling in all the favors, and you know it's transactional. We sell ourselves out to all these groups, solve their problem, and then we tie strings to all of them, and then we pull.
And then basically say,
Man, D,
hey.
that's like the third time in like a month we've been talking about transactional stuff. We're all transactional, buddy.
Yeah.
Synchronicity.
Well, you guys. Well, there's that, but there's also just the fact that you guys are actually planning what would be considered a full military offensive. This is not just a standard group go in whatever. This is full blown. Okay, this is where the shit hits the fan. We now have to coordinate multiple disparate groups of various both mundane and supernatural forces to collaborate together into this one offensive against a single entity that apparently has control of a vast, possibly unending dimension, and get his ass in there and caught.
Right. And not accidentally get our Ghostbusters trap stolen or copied or
Yep.
co-opted or...
There's that, and then there's also
And
not
Do we have
dying.
trademark on? Could we get trademark on our property?
In this age of corporate espionage and everyone stealing secrets and hacking, and there's a reason that Barrick has not been involved in the creation of this at all, because he doesn't want any of it in his head in case he gets hacked.
Which is actually a fairly reasonable precaution and paranoia. So, all right. So, as it is, were you expecting Douglas to try and set up a meet with Dimitri,
I thought that
or were you guys going to try and do it a different
possibly
way?
Ivar had the in.
Yes, Ivor did. That's what I thought. I was just thinking that somebody said that they were going to have Douglas reach out, and I was like, I don't know.
Douglas
I think-
was going to get us
I
the
think
vodka.
Ivar needs to.
Oh, right. So, Ivar, what's the approach here? Are you just going to give the dude a call, or are you going to walk out in front of his hotel and take a piss on the wall? I mean, what's the deal?
I think let me look at a general etiquette role here. With a 20 on etiquette, Ivar was just thinking of the simple having the gift delivered with a simple card of, would you like to chat? And he almost sends a message to this guy in a flattering way. And Ivar drops the names of people he once knew, the powerhouses, as almost like a member of this family. I would love to come and seek a meeting with you.
Would something like a Streetwise or Street Deal?
Streetwise would be exactly what he's asking for. He needs to know who it is and how to interact. That is exactly what that skill is for.
Yeah.
Nice, we get to use it.
Not trying to cock-block you or anything, but
No, it's all right. That's 15.
Okay. You have an average idea of what it would be. Sending him a gift along with a specified request would definitely be a smart way to do it, but it would have to be something that would have to get there quick. It couldn't be delayed because most gifts in that particular sense usually can take up to 5 or 6 days to arrive, and that'd have to be planned out ahead of time. You're going to look for like super expedient methods.
I have a question.
Streetwising as well.
Woohoo.
Here's the second thing, kind of add to it. Could Ivar use his abilities to make it appear on the man's desk?
Yeah.
He'd have to be well within your 200-foot radius, and you might be noticed at that point, although you do look like basically street plaque, so it's not like they pay much attention to you. So you possibly could, but if he's too high up, it would be very difficult. Given what you may know, he's probably going to have a high-rise penthouse that's going to be multiple, probably 50, 60 stories in the air. Something like that. So that'd be kind of a complicated work through.
Okay. So it's more
With
Ivar...
a 20 on Barrack Streetwise, any additional insight?
Well, he's probably going to have local connection hubs within various clubs throughout that same centralized area. Because you're talking about right near where the Mason-Dixon line is in the Night City area, so it's going to be a lot of corruption can happen in that particular vicinity. He'll probably use those to just basically be the ears and eyes that he would actually utilize for his reconnaissance and his work. And you also recall that there were also several shootings in the general vicinity there too that were dealing with the Giovanni and their frenemy combat.
Is there a place that
additional
Barrack
streetwise
could be noisy?
That would be what?
Oh.
I'm going to say there's an additional streetwise from Ivar.
Right.
More...
21.
Yeah, 21. Would Ivar at these clubs almost know, if we were to give this and say this is specifically for the boss, would it not be touched? Or is it one of those, we're bringing a gift basket? We're showing up like Aladdin.
Well, if you have any idea about his routines or where he likes to visit, that might be helpful. Barrack, what were you saying originally?
I was saying, is there a place where we could noisily ask for, I'm thinking of you type in the police database somebody's name and then they call, hey, I heard you were looking for me, sort of situation. Is there a place that Barrack knows where the eyes and ears are looking that we could have make it clear that we'd like a meeting?
Well, there are several new clubs that likely will have pulled up, and even just doing a minor check reference within yourself and through Firestorm, there is definitely a place that fits the bill, and both you and Ivar kind of come up to this sort of resolution. There's a place called the Crystal Palace that is likely to be frequented by him if it's not already owned. It's still kind of arbitrary as to whether or not he actually has that ownership, because he might be using certain shell names to prevent direct connection to himself. But a place like this would be an easy point to launder money, do whatever he might need, or flush credits through all the typical stuff you might find. And because of the way he is, it seems that clubs, nightclubs, and that sort are sort of a favorite thing for him to do. So the Crystal Palace, good a place as any. You might, it's like you have two options. Trying to raise enough noise that he'll actually show up, or he'll already be there, and then you can try and do some kind of a gift basket. Either way, you'll have to have the basket on hand.
Ivar, you want to go on a field trip?
I think we need to go pay the man a visit, but I think I need to go get changed to something a little more respectable.
And we'll need the vodka.
What vodka?
That's the one he already drank.
I thought we were giving him diamonds, not vodka. What are you talking about?
He doesn't need diamonds.
Oh, okay. Ivar just kind of looks over and wants to make sure that not only it's the vodka, but this is a vodka that he knows from his years of experience about this guy. He knows the vodka that this guy drinks.
Things over the years.
Yeah. Well,
He's bringing him absolute vodka. This is what this guy drinks. Absolute
POV
vodka.
in the plastic jug.
God. No, you'll find something that's going to be, because you're going to be looking for sky's the limit. Now, you want to stay within a certain realm. You don't want to be overly lavish with any kind of like purchase. And the reason why is because it kind of puts on a sense of pretentiousness, and also begs the question: if you can afford it, why are you talking to me? In a certain sense, it kind of has this sense of overdoing it. So you kind of want to land in that sweet spot of being high rise, but not too much.
And not just expensive, but like,
Yeah.
you know, what was it? When I was a kid, I thought Viennetta bars were like the most lavish, expensive thing, and it's like, it's freaking ice cream.
No. It's not that we're getting them the most expensive vodka. We're getting him the vodka that he aspires to get. The one that stays out of his reach.
Drunk on when he was 12 back in Russia.
Yeah, or whatever it was, but it's that one that perhaps it's not easy to come by in the States.
It's
that he just wishes. It's his ratatouille.
Well, you'll be left to your research, and you'll be able to start pushing that out, and then assembling together the appropriate gift basket, as it were, to meet him at the Crystal Palace. And I think what we'll do is we'll basically we'll pump the brakes right there, given the fact we got about 6 minutes before the top of the hour. And yeah, that sounds like a hell of a plan.
Ivar and Barrick field trip.
Correct. And if anything else, I'm looking forward to what this is going to turn out to be, because I haven't had a chance to run something this ridiculously chaotic in a long time.
Right.
Finally get to bring out all the big guns, all the noise, and all the stupid sound effects. Like, it's going to happen.
So Ivar and Barrick are going to go recruit the... And if Dravis wants to come too, going to go recruit the guns. And
I'm actually wondering...
Is going to make things.
Colt is going to make things. Riv is going to work with Void, with Bob.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Colt is also going to work with Richard Tynes.
And Michael? Are we getting Michael or no? And the demons, right?
Right. You're going to try and
establish. Can I make a suggestion? Perhaps Colt and Riv going with Void. Go have a conversation with Dick and the demons.
Dick and the Demons.
Okay.
Dick and the Demons.
That's the name of my ska band in high school.
Well, that sounds like a good plan.
Because then almost what we're doing next week is almost doing these. It's almost like a side quest of splitting for us to basically we're gathering the army.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And Barrick and Ivar can't touch each other, so that'll be fun.
Yeah, it's going to be a series of vignettes, basically.
I like it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm going to have to head out for the night, guys, so I will talk to you later.
Tell Kimmy congratulations again, by the way.
Yeah.
Yes, give her our best, man.
She says thank you.
Mm-hmm.
She's just been present in the darkness this whole time.
Kimmy is the Void.
She is the Void.
By the way, what an entertaining evening for a chapter called "The Kids Are Bored." What did you kids do today? We planned a world war. That I gotta get more paper. I've run out of paper again.
That seems to be sort of a talent of ours.
Did I tell you, Drew, that I was going through my bag of holding and I found letters from you from our D&D game from like 2008
Oh, nice.
when you were like you had like drawn a map and like mailed me a letter as Dargos, you know.
I remember that. I once mailed you a penny.
You did mail me a penny and I mailed it back because we had a
Yes,
bet.
you did.
What was the bet?
I
I don't even remember.
I don't remember.
We had a bet, and we bet a penny.
It was a
And
bet
you
on
won.
this game, I
Yeah.
think. And then I like got this envelope and it just had a penny in it. Maybe
Wow.
it was we bet that Bill would die or something. I don't know.
All right.
Oh,
Well,
I forgot he did die the first evening. first couple days we killed him.
Welcome to Shadows.
oh
Get
god.
blown apart by a chain gun.
Yeah, kind of. Well, to our one viewer again, thanks for watching. We'll see you next.